Hello, everybody. Welcome to a wonderful masterclass on everything you want to know or need to know about compression socks. It sounds so educational to call it a masterclass. I thought that would be so sophisticated. But when you're learning new things or you're learning about something you really don't know the why for, it's apropos for today. I'd like to introduce you to Janey Snellgrove. She is the owner locally here to me of the Barrie Lymphatic Center, or Therapy Center, pardon me, and a former nurse who I've been in contact with. And I find with me as a travel advisor, escorting ladies groups and co-ed groups, I find one of the things that comes up all the time is how we can stay comfortable when we're traveling, how we can keep from having achy legs, swollen ankles and feet, you know the drill, and compression socks are just where it's at. So Janie came out to speak at one of our ladies' luncheons, and ever since then, I said we need to do a Zoom and educate people even more on compression socks, the why to own them, the why to wear them, and the benefits of wearing them too. Most people think that compression socks are for old people. One of my kids said that. She kind of giggled years ago when I wore compression socks. And I kind of giggled back and said, "Are you saying that I'm old?" But lo and behold, no. So, Janie, thank you for coming here today and for assisting us in our
Awesome.
learning adventure. And
Great. Well, thank you for inviting me. And if you're watching live or after in the recording, we're just so glad you're here. And one of the things that three of us have in common is we love travel. And I am an avid traveler. I am so happy. Renee is actually scheduling an upcoming 30-year anniversary with my nursing girlfriends. And we are so excited to have someone that is at the helm for us because nobody wants to organize, a group of 12 girls. So I'm really excited. But one of the things that I'll be talking to them about is compression. And so thank you for joining us. And Renee, let's just dig right in. Okay.
yes,
See if I can
let's
work
do
this
it.
screen. Okay, so just a little bit about me. As I said, I love to travel. But one of the things that I want to just really talk about right off the hop is why do we have to talk about compression socks? And it's because of this question right here, which is how many of you have experienced swollen ankles or feet or had tired, achy, heavy legs at the end of a long travel trip, whether that's an airplane, a long car ride, a bus? How many people, and I'm going to assume that most of you are saying yes. Renee, I know that's been something you've experienced in the past.
Yes. Yes. When we travel with a group of ladies, one of the hardest things is to get somewhere when we arrive in our destination and someone has tired, achy, difficult, difficulty with their legs. If they're doing a lot of walking after, they're noticing their ankles are swollen. So I've just become a woman on a mission to educate everybody to say, hey, you need a pair of compression socks. They really help.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't need to suffer. You don't need to have a swollen feet, the ankles, because that's really like it kind of dampens your, spirit as you get off the plane ready to go, right? And it just doesn't feel great, especially if you're going to a beach vacation and you're just feeling like heavy and, and sluggish. So let's talk about first, before I keep hitting my cursor, let's talk about healthy circulation because then that will help people to understand. I'm an educator more than anything, Renee. I love people to understand why things happen so that they can make really good educated decisions about their health. And so just taking everyone back to biology class, grade 11, I think I shared with Renee last time, I had a huge crush on my grade 11 teacher, so I really paid attention, or at least I think I did.
Yes.
So as we know, the heart pumps out blood all day long without us even thinking about it. And that oxygen-rich blood goes from the heart all the way through our arteries to our capillaries to get to our cells in every single part of our body. And once that oxygen has been and that nutrients have been given to the cell, then the veins pick that blood that's deoxygenated back up, take it back up to the lungs to get it oxygenated again, and start the whole process. It's a closed loop, and it's our heart that's pumping and beating to make that circulation happen. In the legs, Our veins all the way away from our heart, the furthest part away from our heart. So they require some extra help. They have one-way valves because the vein in the legs, the blood is going up against gravity. So it's harder for it to get back up to the heart. So those valves are one way so that the blood will not go back and pool in the legs. And if you can look at the little diagram, you'll see what a normal vein looks like and then what a varicose vein looks like. And so when our muscles, which the calf is actually called the second heart because it's a major muscle that helps to pump and helps those legs get that blood back to the heart. Okay. So, unfortunately, when we have something called venous insufficiency, it can lead to varicose veins. So, really, what venous insufficiency is, the veins are not sufficient at doing their job of getting blood back to the heart. And so that is what leads to swelling because when that blood pools in the veins, it puts pressure on the veins, that fluid leaks into the tissues, which creates the edema, can create inflammations, the swelling, the pain, and even lead to blood clots, which we'll talk a little bit about. And so you can see in the pictures, I don't know if my head is in the way of the second one, um, but stage one is that spider vein. And by the time women are 80% of us will have spider veins. And then there's varicose veins, which is stage two of venous insufficiency. And you can see that behind my head. And 25% of adult women have varicose veins. And so we get varicose veins or venous insufficiency from a number of things. Pregnancy is one of them, standing or sitting for long periods of time, hence travel, what we're going to talk about, genetics, obesity, and Renee, advanced age. So don't you love how that is advanced stage? I was like, wow, I've always wanted to be in the advanced class. There is a benefit of being over 55. So when we understand that our legs are having a hard time on their own of moving blood back to the heart, then we can really get a sense of why during travel, it's really important to support our veins. And so there's three reasons why we really need to be wearing compression socks. And the first one is a no-brainer, prolonged sitting. So we're sitting, unless you are like that picture below where you've got access to first class and you can put your feet up. Most of us are in the back of the bus. And so you're sitting, and those muscles, which we normally, when we walk, we get up, move around, those muscles are helping to to help compress and move that blood back to the heart. Those veins are really having a hard time. So we're sitting for long periods of time, especially if they're long haul flights. And I heard a stat, Renee, which maybe you can comment on, but your risk of a deep vein thrombosis really increases over 12 hours in a flight. So for any of us that are traveling far distances, it is a risk you have to consider. And that's with a healthy vasculature, right? So prolonged sitting is one of the reasons why our blood flow is affected. Two is we've now, when we're in an airplane, we have that pressure from the cabin as well as gravity. And so that's making it really hard for those veins to move that blood back to the heart. So it pools, creates the swelling, the discomfort. And then lastly, dehydration, because most people don't drink enough water on the flight. We tend to drink caffeine or alcohol, both which are dehydrating. And on top of that, they serve us salty snacks. And so we tend to be more dehydrated rather, and that really slows down the viscosity or it creates more of a thicker blood. So again, making it even harder for those veins that are already under a hard difficult task, it makes their job even harder. So this is why Renee is so passionate about compression socks, and I'm so passionate about them for traveling as well, because they really make a difference. And so let's talk about why they work. So first of all, and I've got one here to show you. Oh no, maybe you can't. Oh yeah, because okay, this isn't going to work so well. So here's my compression socks. Sorry guys, in this setup, this new technology, it's not quite as showy, but I do have some pictures. So imagine the picture of the compression socks with the girl or the gentleman by the bike there. So it's a graduated compression, meaning that at the ankle you have more compression, and as the sock goes up, it's less compression. So by the time it's up by your upper calf, it's less compression. So the sock acts just kind of like a muscle in really allowing those veins to have extra support, which allows them to have a better time of moving that blood flow. So number two, reduce swelling. Again, when we're keeping those veins compressed, that's going to allow or avoid more fluid being leaked into the tissues, which is what creates the swelling. And there was a Journal of Travel medicine journal, not magazine, that showed that compression socks on long haul flights reduces swelling by 80%. So it's really effective at helping to reduce swelling. Decrease risk of blood clots. So again, it reduces that risk by 63% on long haul flights. So really important to have that compression. And lastly, it helps to combat jet lag. And so if you can imagine that oxygenated blood, right, and that circulation that has to get to the tissues, if it's having more of a difficult time, your legs aren't going to be as oxygenated. They're not going to feel as wonderful. And your energy is going to be zapped. So there's so many reasons why compression socks can be part of your travel checklist, to really make sure that when you get on the ground or wherever you're going, you're going to feel great. You'll be ready to go, especially if you're booking one of those sightseeing trips where you need to be walking and up and at it. And, you don't want to have to be sitting down for long periods of time. You want to be out and going and seeing things. Any questions so far, Renee?
No, I was just going to say, usually if you're on a long haul flight, you're trying to get into the time zone. And in order to do that, you're not going to bed right away. So you still are on your feet or sitting, and the same sort of cycle that you've just been in for such a long time. So to get up and move around and walk around and have your socks still on is really beneficial to beginning your vacation right away.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So I want to share why I chose a company called Lunatic Athletics. And you can see the socks behind me. There's a couple of reasons. So number one, they're local, which I always love supporting Canadian businesses. A woman started it. She was a triathlete and she was really tired of only having black socks that didn't really fit well and weren't comfortable. And so she wanted them for her performance. So she found a solution to a problem that she had and created Lunatic Athletics. But most importantly, the high quality is what I was looking for. I thought if I'm going to, really want something for myself, and my friends and my clients, I want to make sure I have the highest quality. And let's be honest, I also wanted them to look good. Because you're not gonna wear them if they don't look good. You're not gonna buy them if they're not fun because, it's like if it's not fashionable, if it doesn't look good and it doesn't feel good, then it's a waste of money, right? But number one, it has to work. And then we want all those other things, right? And so it was really important for me to find a company that checked all those boxes. But also, one thing that was important is that this company won't allow me to sell these socks unless I'm certified. So they have a really high level of standard of care that they know that I'm going to look at someone's legs and do a measurement and make sure that we're giving them the right sock and they have the right needs are being met. And so that was also really important to me because you can buy, and I think this is why a lot of people don't use their compression socks, is they go online and they buy a sock and it's not comfortable, doesn't fit right, maybe not great material, and they end up wasting their money. And so it's really important to me that someone coming to look for a sock has somebody to talk to say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. What would you suggest? And so that was one of the keys why I chose Lunatic Athletics. And just some little pictures and kind of reviews. So again, compression socks are not just great for travel, but they're great for athletes. They're great for people who spend long periods of time on their feet or sitting at work. And the middle picture is a nurse that bought some socks and she said, "Hi, I love them. I've never had fit compressions before and they make a difference and feel very nice on. I will be getting more." So she had been used to just purchasing online and really found the difference between a fitted compression sock and one that was just a generic size. So that was really great feedback. And lastly, just this week, I received this text from a 30-year-old mom to be who all of a sudden has varicose veins. Did not have them previous to pregnancy, and she's on her feet. She's a teacher. And so I love her honesty. If you read this text, so loving these compression socks. If I'm being honest, I was hesitant to order them at first because I thought compression socks were for old people, which I'm definitely not. I just giggled when I read that. I also thought that compression socks usually look kind of ugly, and I was concerned that they would be uncomfortable to wear. Wow, was I wrong? Definitely noticed almost immediate relief, and my head's in the way, and that they are so comfortable. Also, these compression socks are not ugly. I'm loving the fun colors and styles. Thanks for hooking me up. So, fashion is important, right? If we're going to wear something, we want to feel good in it. Physically, we want to feel good in it, but also we want to feel good. Like these are fun socks. So if you don't love bright colors, there's lots to choose from. There's black, navy, more gray. There's lots of different colors. So let me just keep going unless you've got questions, Renee.
I was going to say there's even the gray ones with the red top so that people who wear those hunter boots have
Yes.
that little bit sticking out the top. So they're
Yeah.
good for equestrians. Um,
Yes.
yeah, my
Yes.
niece wears a lot of the socks because she teaches a lot of classes and she likes to change them all through the day for each class. So
Oh,
there's such a good selection.
yes. And I have some pictures coming too, which is great. So there's two types of compression socks that people need to know about. So there's a performance compression sock, which has less compression, or there's medical compression socks. So I like to think of performance as really prevention. So you have a healthy vascular system, you haven't been diagnosed with venous insufficiency, but you want to prevent it, right? So it's a little bit less compression, still effective at helping blood flow, great for travel, great for standing, sitting, pregnancy, exercise, and they come in about $48 in tax. The medical grade compression socks are considered a medical device. And so you need a prescription either from your physician, a chiropractor, because then you could submit that to your insurance provider and have coverage for that. So with that, if you're someone that has spider veins starting to show up, or you have some varicose veins, or your doctor has given you that diagnosis, then you do want to be going for the medical grade because that added level of compression is really going to help a already weak vein to be even better at moving that fluid back out of the leg. So two to choose from, and lots of different styles. So I'm just going to show you a quick little picture. So these are performance. So again, there the Work It socks, Renee, in the middle. You can see she's a horseback rider. It's
Yep.
a picture with the
Yep.
red. Lots of fun, unisex, a nice Canadian one there too. And then in the performance, I couldn't get all the different styles on. There's so many. And the company's coming out with a few new styles this next couple of months. So they're always adding to it. So if this is something that you want to do, you want to order, or you just want to have a chat with me to find out what works best, then you can, if you're local, you can reach out to me through my website, barrielymphatictherapy.com. We'll set up a 15-minute fitting meeting where you'll come in. If you have prescription, then we'll need to see the prescription. We'll do measurements, figure out the style that's best for you. If you don't live near Barrie, we can do it through Zoom as well. So that's an option. So you just need to go to my website or email me and we can set up a time to get together. Lastly, I'm all about compression. So Barrie Lymphatic Therapy, for those of you who are wondering what the heck is that. So compression socks are a static compression. I've brought a very unique machine called the Balancer Pro to Barrie. I was the third one in Ontario, and it's a dynamic compression. So it's actually pneumatic compression therapy, and it helps to improve circulation, but also lymphatic drainage. And so I took this picture from Luxury Magazine because it's very popular in the States. It's fairly new to Canada. But Luxury Magazine, I think there was a cruising company that also has commented on the Balancer Pro. So it's just, I wanted people to understand that I love compression, not just compression socks, but a full body compression as well. My contact information, you can take a screenshot. You could take a photo and scan my QR code to go directly to the website. Reach out if you have questions. I'm happy to help. And one of the things that I didn't mention at the beginning is we actually have a giveaway right now, Renee, on our social media, on Instagram. And so I want to show you guys, I hope you stuck around to the end because this is worth it. We are giving away, it's called our Glow and Flow giveaway. And so the lucky prize winner, is going to win 2 full body Balancer Pro sessions with our Saluma red light therapy. You can see the red light down at the bottom. My favorite hydrate electrolyte drink, and a pair of performance compression socks. So if you're about to travel, if you're booking travel this fall, in January, here's what I'm going to suggest. You want to enter because you're going to want to have a Balancer Pro before you go. It's going to help with reduce water retention, get rid of bloating. You're going to feel amazing before your trip. And then you're going to want to have one after.
Yes.
Again, after travel, you know how you feel. You're going to feel amazing in the Balancer Pro, plus the red light therapy. Plus, you're going to want Hydrate, which is our natural electrolyte drink for on the plane or when you're out and about in your travels. And you're going to want the performance socks for the plane or the boat, wherever, however you're getting there. So go onto my Instagram and enter. It ends November 5th. So you want to get in before then. If you're like, I missed it because I'm listening to this recording after, or you're like, I'm not on Instagram, then go to my website and send me an email and I'll put you on my email newsletter list so that any upcoming, because we also have ones that are not on social media, you'll want to be part of our newsletter so you can hear more about it. So that's it, Renee. I love if there's any questions that you have or any comments.
I only had one question. One of the ladies did ask me earlier today, are they difficult to put on?
So if you have good range of motion, so if you're like, if you were my 85-year-old grandmother that her shoulders are not good and she has a hard time grasping things, then she might have a little bit more difficulty. But if you are, normal activities, you can open a jar, you can, do your daily activities. Absolutely not. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of like a finesse, right? Because they're not like your normal socks. So a lot of people treat them like
No.
they're their normal socks, but they're not. And so lots of people have different ways of doing it. The performance socks obviously have a little bit less compression, but even the prescription socks, they're easy to put on. It's just a finesse in how you do it because it's not like your normal socks.
Right. I find there's a couple of things. One, you can say, do you remember when you first wore nylons and you brought them down and you pulled them up very gently all in a row? And the other thing is, I know that when people wear the medical grade, they have little tips and tricks to put them inside out and then put your toe in and then wrap it up the leg. There's a few other little trips or tips for that.
Yeah,
And I never found them difficult. I found that you just had to, they weren't like big loosey goosey socks. You had to just work them up gently. Plus, you want to do that so that you have the compression where it should be.
that's right.
And then it's just optimal for you. I love your giveaway. I think it's fantastic. I definitely recommend the Balancer Pro for travel because I like the idea of departing, but also returning because you've just been on a plane again. If you've been on the plane, like Melanie and I went away last year, and between 4 flights, we were 32 hours in the air, up, down, up, down. You come home to that, it's like, welcome home.
Yeah. Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
definitely. Okay,
Mhm.
so follow Barrie Lymphatic Therapy, like this post, save this post, and tag 2 friends.
Mhm.
So that sounds like it's very easy and doable.
Yes, very easy and fun. And, lots of people are having fun and it's a nice treat. And really, you are going to feel so relaxed and zen. And if you have questions, if anyone have questions and they're like, what is this Balancer Pro, or who are you? Please just reach out to me either through social or email, or old-fashioned telephone is, if I go back, our number is on there. We are always willing to sit and chat and have a consult with someone if they have questions. So, because it's new technology and people are loving it. But if you go on Instagram, you're going to learn a lot about it, because that's where we share most, and you'll see other stories from people who are enjoying it as well.
Yeah, I was going to also say I have a friend in British Columbia, and she just was down in Salt Lake City. She was getting some medical things done just for wellness, and she sent a picture to me in the Balancer Pro. And I went, hey, Janey has that. And
Yeah.
she said, you're kidding. I didn't think there were any in Canada. So
Yes.
there you go.
So it is in Europe, it started because they're very forward thinking for health and wellness, and then started in the United States and was trickling up here to Canada. So yeah, as soon as I came across it, I thought we need to bring that, because people in one session can see results. And it
Didn't
really,
Jennifer Aniston get into this
yes.
too? Yeah.
Yes, it is one of her wellness tools that she uses regularly. So lots of celebrities do. It's big in that area. But for people who are looking for better health, or after travel, bloating, brain fog, hormonal issues, just not feeling great, the lymphatic system is such a big piece of our health, and it's a system that not very many people know about. And it is like the Cinderella in that it does so much. And when we take care of it, it starts to take care of us. So
That's so true. So there you go. Just more and more things that we can put into our toolbox, like you said, so that we have optimal health, whether we're traveling or not. And like we said, there's so many reasons to wear compression socks, let alone anything else. And I would urge you to get a hold of Janey and try them out for yourself. I love mine. I love mine. I love mine.
me too. Me too. Thank you
All
so much,
righty.
Renee.
Thank you so much. And we will chat with you some more soon.
Okay, thank you. Bye, everyone.